Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ETC3 Game of the Week. Today, it's the Pickens Dragons taking on the White County Warriors. Once again, this is the Community Bank of Pickens County pregame show. Again, Community Bank, we can make a difference. Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you as we get set to rock and roll here on a beautiful afternoon in Jasper. Nice little breeze blowing through here, and indeed an ideal day for some high school baseball. And, Coach, with that, glad to be working with you again, and looking forward to a good game today. And the region race is on in 7 AAA, and all the games are really important right now.
It is, Dave. Right now, the Dragons are in, I guess what you might say, a playoff run. They're tied. Actually, they're in the lead, third place for the third spot in the region. So they've got some real quality wins against some tough teams like East Hall and Flower Branch. So the Dragons are playing right now their best baseball, and that's kind of what you want to do, is play your baseball at the best baseball at the end of the season, and that's what the Dragons are doing right now.
A pair of Justins going at it on the hill today. Justin Satterfield for White County comes in here at 5-2 overall, and of course the Dragons throwing Justin Lester, the fastball pitcher again for the Dragons. Got a lot of heat there, and going to try to duplicate what he did the first go around against these guys. Had a real good game in the first meeting between these two.
Yeah, Justin Lester actually threw, I guess the game was on the 29th of April, and he had 15 strikeouts that game. So when Justin's on, he's real tough to hit, and that's kind of what Coach Nunn and Coach Bell and also Coach Black is looking for out of him, just to, to hit the plate and, make good quality strikes and throw the ball real well.
All right, well, that's going to wrap things up as we get set for the first pitch. Again, we'll have the lineups and starting lineups and first pitch for you coming up here in just a moment. Again, a beautiful afternoon in Jasper for some high school baseball. It's the Dragons and the White County Warriors going at it in a Region 7 AAA contest. You've been watching the Community Bank of Pickens County pregame show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Dragon Field as we get set to crank it up for another afternoon of high school baseball right here on the ETC3 Game of the Week. Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you as we take a look at today's starting lineups, and we will start with the visiting White County Warriors. Leading things off, it'll be Brent Oliver, the second baseman. He'll be followed by Nick Winters, the right fielder. Adam Kastner's in center field hitting third. Jordan Fincher hitting cleanup today is behind the plate. Mark Garst is the first baseman. Nick Palmer DHing today for Justin Satterfield, the pitcher. Brian Cantrell hitting in the number 7 spot in left field. Brandon Hester hitting 8th. And Nathan Reinhardt, the shortstop, rounding out the starting 9 for White County. Defensively for the Dragons, left to right in the outfield, Jason Johnson, Alex Williams, and Mark Patterson on the infield. McDonald's at third, Helmuth at short, Papadix at second, Golden at first, Green behind the plate, and again, Justin Lester, number 9, on the hill today for the Pickens Dragons. Again, the starting lineup is presented by Mitchell Realty Group, land, commercial, and residential properties. And once again, we'd like to welcome all of our sponsors, in particular Mitchell Realty Group, for their support here in 2004. And again, Lester taking a few warm-up tosses right here. And again, he's been the big gun this year. He's got a good fastball, got some lively stuff, and been kind of back and forth this year. Hopefully he'll have a good outing today.
It has. Justin, when he's on, like we said earlier in the pregame, he's real tough to hit, and he's in a couple of games have kind of got hit hard, but here recently he's done a lot better. And right now, only thing that the Dragons can hope for is that Justin's going to bring his A game.
A little bit of a breeze blowing from right to left in the outfield here, but that breeze has certainly cooled things off a little bit. Temperatures, I guess, into the 80s today here. They're looking at 80, 81 degrees perhaps, and it's just a beautiful day. Certainly a nice change of pace from what we saw earlier in the year when temperatures were dipping down into the 40s and things like that. At least we're not having to bundle up today.
It is beautiful. That field, like we said earlier, I know in the other games, but, every time we come here, it seems the field just, gets better looking every time. And Coach Nunn and his whole staff has done a great job in getting the field in wonderful condition.
We'll have the Dragons starting lineup for you in the bottom half of this inning, but once again, we're set and ready to go here. Top of the first. Again, the first inning of today's game being presented by Regions Bank of Ellijay. Again, let us lend you our strength. Once again, we'd like to welcome all the folks from Regions Bank back with us here as we get set to lead things off. This is Brent Oliver, the second baseman, wearing number 8 for the White County Warriors, in here at 10-9 overall, 6-7, just a game under 500 in Region 7 AAA. And this is a program that has certainly been turned around in the last couple of seasons under Stuart Bailey, the second-year head coach. First one missing there, 1-0. White County, a team really in a tight battle right now for that fourth and final playoff spot. The Dragons, meanwhile, in third all by themselves right now.
Right now, I don't know if a lot of people realize how big of a game this is, because if for some reason the Dragons come out, within the short end of the stick today, it's going to put them in the mix with everybody else. And, by a win today, it's really going to separate themselves from the rest of the pack.
Lester connects right there, so 2-1 the count. Ken Oliver, the leadoff hitter. Stuart Bailey, as we mentioned, the head coach of White County in his second season. From Truett McConnell, coached at the college level there for a while. This is actually his first high school job. There's a ground ball to third. Chance for McDonald. Long throw across the infield's in time for out number 1.
Great play by Sean. I know, he's kind of had a couple rocky games out there at third base, but anytime you can get that first out and that first ball hit to you, it's going to, hopefully his confidence level will be real high, and he'll be able to handle all the rest of the ground balls hit to him.
This is Nick Winters, the right fielder, the lefty, who stands in there now. And the first pitch to Winters, squaring to bunt right there, pulls back and takes it inside. Getting a little over 300 down the lines here. 375 to straightaway center, 350 in the alleys. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1.
Dave, in earlier games that Justin's got in trouble, he's thrown a lot of balls and he's walked a lot of people, and anytime he's successful, he's thrown strikes and he's got ahead of hitters, and that's a major key today, for him to be successful, is get ahead of the hitters and throw strikes.
Winters fouls one back to the screen. There's a 1-2. Lester gets ahead here. Of course, the last time we were here was that Gilmer game. We saw a long game, a lot of offense, some good defensive plays. We even saw a power outage, a little bit of everything, and we always get treated to some good games down here at Dragon Field.
Well, maybe the lights won't go out on this one tonight. That was a very interesting game, and watching it back, on ETC, it's even more interesting.
Here's the 2-2 pitch right here from Lester, and it's in there for strike 3 as Winters goes down looking right there, and Lester with a good pitch.
Great pitch by Justin. I don't know if Winters was sitting there guessing for a curveball, and Justin threw that fastball right by him. That's exactly what he's got to do to be successful.
So in steps Adam Kastner, number 23, the center fielder. Lester trying to go 1-2-3. That one ripped into left field, though, so the Warriors keep the inning alive here in the first. And a good rip right there by Kastner, who jumped on that first pitch.
Yeah, I believe Kastner was sitting there dead red, sitting there waiting on that fastball, and that's exactly what Justin gave him. So, if you're Coach Nunn, you can't feel too bad about that, even though, that was a good pitch, and Kastner just made good contact and put the ball in play.
Jordan Fincher will step in there now, the catcher, hitting cleanup today for White County. Again, the first meeting between these two went to the Dragons 15-7 in Cleveland back on March 29th. Lester with a big game there had 15 strikeouts. So Coach Nunn going back to Lester today, hoping for some of the same magic. First pitch paints the inside corner there for a strike 0-1.
I'm sure, like the old saying goes, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. And I think that's what he's trying to do right now. Lester had great success against White County before, and see if, he can do it again.
Going to runner at first, but 2 out. And there's a shot, but pulled foul down the left field line there. Fincher ahead of that one. Once again, want to say hi to our ETC3 television crew and our birthday boy, Hewitt Rabel, in the truck here tonight, turning the big 3-0. And the 0-2 pitch, ground ball. Nice stop there by McDonald. The throw is in time, and what a stab right there by Sean McDonald, who records 2 putouts in the inning. That last one a beauty. And just 1 over the minimum for Lester. Nothing doing with a base runner as we go to the bottom of the first. Taking a look at the lineup for the Pickens Dragons, again being brought to you by the Mitchell Realty Group. Alex Williams will lead things off and play center field. Again, Andy Golden at first base hitting second. Tony Popadix at second, batting third. Jason Johnson will hit in the cleanup. spots. Sean McDonald again at third base. Josh Green, the catcher. Kevin Buchanan DHing today for the pitcher Justin Lester. Mark Patterson in right field hitting eighth, and Jeremy Helmuth again rounding out the starting nine for the Dragons. Defensively for the White County Warriors from left to right in the outfield, Cantrell, Kastner, and Winters. Hester's at third base, Reinhardt at short, Oliver at second, Garnst at first, Fincher behind the plate, and again Justin Satterfield, the pitcher today for the Warriors. Satterfield, a 5-2 overall record, a lefty, comes in here with some pretty good stuff. So we'll have to see how the Dragons fare against the left-handed pitcher here to start things out. Again, Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you on the ETC3 Game of the Week, and a beautiful day here at Dragon Field in Jasper. Perfect. Alex Williams to lead things off here. Squaring, pops it up, foul. Fincher gave it chase but couldn't quite catch up to it.
Right now, Dave, Alex is probably one of the most consistent hitters that the Dragons have right now. I know he's been a lifesaver out there on the center field, but he's batting at a 380 clip right now, and he's scored 28 runs from his leadoff spot. So anytime he's been able to put on get on first base or second base, he's been real effective in scoring runs.
Well, one pitch is inside there, 1-1. Dragons have really produced a lot of offense this year, really won with the bats, and they've done it in bunches too. Several games, as we've talked about throughout the season, where they've scored 6 and 7 and even 8 runs at a time late in games too to win them.
They have, and right now their team batting average is at 315. So I know that's a lot better than the last time that we televised with Gilmer. I know it was around the 250, 260 mark. So they've been scoring a bunch of runs. I know every time they play, it seems like they're scoring 13 or 14 runs. So they're doing a good job.
2-2 the count on Williams here, who again leads things off for the Dragons. In the first inning of today's game, again being presented by Regions Bank of LJ. And the 2-2 pitch right here. A little low there, so a full count, 3-2 upcoming for Justin Satterfield. Williams digs in there. And the 3-2 pitch is inside low for ball 4, so Williams is on base.
That's a good at bat by Alex. He don't really strike out a bunch, and he puts the ball in play, and I don't believe he struck out. I believe Coach Bell and Coach Dunn was talking to me. I don't think he struck out more than 2 or 3 times during the season. So, anytime you can get your leadoff hitter to do that, you're going to be successful.
Andy Golden steps in there now. First pitch swinging. Came up empty, 0-1.
Andy's having another good year too. He's batting at 386 this year, and he's got 17 RBIs, and he's stepped in there and is hitting the ball real well.
Squaring a bunt there, pulls back, takes a strike. And again, with a lefty on the hill here, those runners at first might have to tighten up that lead just a tad. They're a little bit harder to anticipate the move of the lefty.
You're right. I mean, that's even. He's got. I know. Watching him in warm-ups, he's got a pretty good pickoff move, and he shows us right there that he's got a pretty good one.
It's always that gray area with a left-handed pitcher, as far as the leg kick and where they're going. Sometimes they'll look like they're going to first and they'll come home with it. So it's always tough to do.
Sometimes you'll see them base runners get hung out to dry. I mean, you'll see him, sitting there leaning, and then all of a sudden he'll snap it over there and he'll get them out.
Williams again with the lead at first. And the 1-2 pitch is low for ball 2 there, so 2-2. The count evens up here. Of course, the region playoff race, as we mentioned, really heating up, and it's kind of wide open. There's several teams in the region that have a shot at making one of those final 4 spots, but the Dragons are really in control right now if they can keep it up here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Shot fairly deep into right field. Playable, though, and put away by Winters. For out number 1, Williams retreats back to first.
Dave, earlier you were just talking about the playoff race. There's about 6 or 7 teams that still got a legitimate shot in making the playoffs, and the Dragons has, like we've talked about already, has put themselves in the third spot. You've got White County, you've got Johnson, and you still, you don't want to leave out Gilmer and Fannin. They've gave Dragons, two losses as well. So, it's still wide open.
East Hall also in the mix as well. The Dragons have beaten them both times, though, so the tiebreaker there, in effect, I guess.
Very much so. Jason Johnson, who normally they've started to pitch him kind of like the closer, you might say. He's come in and put a lot of good innings for the Dragons.
That one in there for a strike. This is Tony Popadix, again, the second baseman. As you get a look at Satterfield on the hill here today for White County. Again, the Warriors of that. Talk about the mountain teams in this area. You think about the 515 teams, of course, Pickens, Gilmer, Fannin, but you kind of sometimes you forget about White County in there as well. That one popped up a mile high in the infield. Reinhardt is there and puts it away for out number 2.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes White County kind of gets forgot about because of the rivalry between Pickens and Gilmer and even Fannin, but they've always they're always can put out some real competitive teams in all sports, especially in basketball. In recent couple of years, they've been really competitive. So anytime they come out, they've got a chance to win.
Jason Johnson steps in there now. First pitch inside for a strike. Caught the corner there, 0-1.
JJ's hitting the ball real well as well. He's hitting that 400 clip, and I know that batting average has come up about 100 points, and he's leading the team right now with 20 RBIs as well.
Ken Williams still the runner at first, 2 out in the inning, though. And the 0-1 pitch. Looks like he might have tipped it into the glove there of Fincher. So 0-2 as Satterfield quickly gets ahead here.
JJ's a real slow starter. Talking to him earlier today, he seems like he does it every year. He starts out real slow, and he's right now he's coming into his own. He's hit 2 home runs in really about the last 3 or 4 ball games.
Swing and a miss right there for strike 3. They'll have to throw him out. Fincher on down to first at end time. And that'll do it. Again, nothing doing for the Dragons. They do leave a base runner on. No score after 1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. We'll be right back with inning number 2 right after this. Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone to the ETC3 Game of the Week. High school baseball, the theme here today is the Region 7 AAA playoff race heats up. We're getting towards the end of the season right now, and every game counts. Today, again, the Dragons and White County Warriors going at it. Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you. Again, the Dragons and Warriors. And the first pitch by Mark Garst is over the head of Patterson in right field. It hops over the wall for a ground rule double. And White County with their leadoff man aboard in scoring position here.
Justin, the last couple of batters, I guess that first inning as well, he's leading off with the first pitch fastball. And right now, I know Coach Nunn and Coach Black, the pitching coaches, is probably sitting there thinking maybe you might want to show something a little off speed to him at the beginning instead of them sitting there knowing that he's going to throw that first pitch fastball.
Again, no score here at Dragon Field, but White County threatening here in the top of the second. Nice pitch by Lester right there. Again, this is Nick Palmer, the hitter, DHing today for Satterfield, the pitcher. Okay. Again, the second inning of today's game being presented by Brenda Evans Designs for all your furniture and decorating needs. Popadix holding the runner at second. Little bunt right there. Green unable to get that one there. Of course, the ETC Company softball game playing out recently, and our man behind the controls here, Stephen Hames, directing today, fouled out on the very same way right there as Palmer just fouled that one back to the screen there, and it just kind of reminded me of that for some reason.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
I'll hear about it between innings, but it's all in good fun. That one's in there for strike 3 right there. Lester, again, with another strikeout, his second of the afternoon here, and that is the first down of the inning, and that's big.
That is big, and like we talked earlier, he led off with either a curveball or a changeup, and it's going to get those White County hitters, sitting there not looking for that first pitch fastball, and maybe it'll he'll get ahead in the count and stuff.
So in steps Brian Cantrell here, the left fielder. First pitch out, gets away from Green, and that will allow Garst on over to third. White County was a team talking to Coach Stuart Bailey before the game that in a 4-year period, a few years ago, it only won basically 9 combined ball games, averaged 3 or 4 wins a year was about it. And again, as you had said, Coach, struggled a little bit the last few years traditionally, but they've kind of turned it on here. 10-9, as we mentioned, a game over 500 overall, and still alive here. Chopper to first, handled by Golden for the out. The run will score, though, and White County will take a 1-0 lead here in the second.
Just like you said, they have struggled in the past years, but I know 10-9 record, that's probably the best record they've had. I would say in the last 5 or 6 years. They've always kind of struggled, but Coach Bailey really seems like he's got them turned around and got them going in the right direction.
And this is a team that really hadn't talked about playoffs at all, and really about the last 10 or 12 years or so. I think they were saying since 90 or 91 was probably around in there was the last time that White County baseball made the playoffs there. So it's been a long time coming.
Well, I know for the Dragons, I know one of their main goals is to try to win out the rest of their ball games, and if they did that, they're going to be about 7 or 8 games over 500. And baseball here in the past is we've had some teams that go 500, this and that, but somebody that go over a lot of games, that's something I know that Coach Nunn and his team wants to do.
And that one in there for a strike right there. Again, this is Brandon Hester, the third baseman, wearing 38 today. Get a look at Lester on the hill right here with a 2-1 count. Pitch, that one's in there for a strike as well, 2-2. Good hard fastball right there. Saw a radar gun around here a while ago. We may have to try to work that into the telecast here today and maybe clock some of those pitches.
I know him clocking during practice. Justin's throwing about 85, 86, and that's real fast, for somebody his age. But if he works at it hard and really trains in the off season and stuff, maybe he could get some looks at some colleges and try to get, you got to get that ball about 90 to be a major prospect.
Right back to him. Takes his time, throws on to first, and in time. Again, Lester not panicking right there and is able to make the out there for out number 3. White County does strike for 1, though, and the Warriors lead at 1-0 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard as we go to the bottom half. McDonald leading it off for Pickens here in the bottom half of inning number 2, again being brought to you by Brenda Evans Designs. Once again, we'd like to welcome all the folks from Brenda Evans Designs back with us here. McDonald followed by Josh Green and Kevin Buchanan. First pitch from Satterfield misses outside, 1-0. Again, Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you on a beautiful day here at Dragon Field. Nice little breeze, a lot of sunshine. An ideal day on the diamond.
The wind's not blowing near as bad as it was the last couple of times. If you remember at the Gilmer game, that flag out there in center field was taking some gale force winds, you might say. So it's not near as windy today.
3-0 the count right now on McDonald, who will try to draw the free pass here, perhaps, as you see Satterfield out there on the hill. Satterfield, as we mentioned, a lefty, 5-2 overall this year, has pitched pretty well for the Warriors and connects right there for 1, 3-1.
Dave, I don't have the stat in front of you, but it seems like almost every game the Dragons go down in the first couple of innings, and they're always either behind a couple of runs, and they always come back, and seem to pull it out. So maybe today will be one of those days for them.
McDonald drawing the walk there, so for the second consecutive inning, the Dragons do have their leadoff runner aboard. Alex Williams led off the first with a free pass there, and now McDonald follows suit here in the second, and this is Josh Green, the catcher.
Josh has been a hot hitter of late. He's on a 6-game hitting streak right now, and the big man has been pretty good at the plate and hopes to get better. Green,
of course, the catcher, one of those guys that has moved into the area and has really provided a big boost in that Dragon lineup. And a runner at first, nobody out here, bottom of the second. Little chopper to third, it's going to roll foul. Come back and do it again here. Of course, the field, as we mentioned, always mention it, but can't help say it enough. I mean, really, I was asking Coach Bale before the game if anybody else in the region had said anything about the field. He said everybody, basically, even Gainesville, which is kind of a surprise. But everybody's really said how nice this field is. And I tell you what, it's certainly compliments are certainly due. That's for sure.
You're right. And Coach Sewell, our athletic director, and I know a lot of people know Coach Sewell, but he told Coach Nunn a couple of weeks ago, you know, if you get fired from coaching baseball, at least you know you can go down to Turner Field and get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know he's really, and you can tell he really puts the time and effort into the baseball field, and you know he wants the kids to have something to be proud of, and I think they've got it right now.
A grounder to third. Hester, 2 second for one on the first is in time, and the Warriors turn the 5-4-3 double play right there. Nicely turned there at third base. Hester got it started, and a good turn by Oliver there at second onto a Garst for the second out there. So again, 5-4-3 in the book. So now Kevin Buchanan, the DH, will step in there again. Buchanan hitting today for Lester, the pitcher. Both pitchers being hit for here today early on. That one on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Kevin's batting right now at 321, and kind of started out kind of slow at the beginning of the season, but he's really picked it up the last couple of ball games.
And the 0-1 pitch. Little number to the right side. Soft little liner will be gloved by Mark Garnst for out number 3. And the Dragons go quietly here. In the bottom half of the second inning, still 1-0. White County leading it on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. We're back with inning number 3 in a moment. Back here at Dragon Field again, Dave Garner, Coach Wigington with you on the ETC3 Game of the Week. Glad you could join us. Once again, we'd like to thank all of the viewers for tuning in, being with us. This is Nathan Reinhardt, the shortstop for White County, who will lead things off for the Warriors here as we go to the top half of inning number 3. Again, facing Justin Lester right here. Lester delivers, and a little upstairs right there, 1-0. Again, Lester, the good fastball, but he's also shown some good movement on some of his other pitches as well.
He has, and right now it's something that I don't believe the Dragons have been in a lot of this year, but we're in a pitching duel, it looks like. You know, White County's done a good job in the field, and right now, hopefully the defense will stay behind Justin and do the same for him. So,
Nathan Reinhardt, the only senior position player in the lineup today for White County, so they've got a pretty young team.
They do, and that's good for the future. And I know Coach Bailey has probably stressed that to him, and probably thought he would take probably some lumps this year with having such a young team, but that's something good for him and his staff and the school to look forward to.
Count is 3-0 right here, so Lester in danger of putting one on, and will indeed do so. 4 straight pitches right there and a leadoff walk for the Warriors. Once again, the third inning of today's game being brought to you by Gilmer County Bank. You've got a friend in the banking business with Gilmer County Bank. I want to thank all those folks for being back with us here today. So back to the top of the order now. This is Brent Oliver, who grounded out to third his first time up. Square into bunt right there. Runner thought about it, throw down to first, and man, oh man, nearly had him down there. The runner took a little bit of a jump right there, anticipating that ball would be put in play, but Oliver missed on the bunt there. Pulled back just in time, but the runner nearly got caught off the bag.
Right now, Justin's kind of struggling. He's thrown 5 straight balls, and right now he's got to find his location here.
Runner is going. Green down to second is in time. Strong throw right there by Josh Green, who nails him at second. What a throw.
Good job by Josh. I know the last game against Johnson that was here, the Dragons won the ball game, and I know that the Johnson base runners really challenged Josh, and he didn't throw. I don't believe he threw any of them out, and they were running pretty much at will at him. And he did a good job there, making a good strong throw and getting the batter out.
So erase the base runner there, and Oliver stands in there now. 2-1 count. 1 out in the inning. Green with a good arm, and that throw was on the money. And that was one thing that Coach Nunn had mentioned before the season about Josh Green, who at that time, of course, was just a move-in, and people didn't really know a lot about him. Here's an opportunity for Helmuth. Strong throw. Gets Oliver by about a step right there, and a good, strong throw by Helmuth at short.
You're talking about Josh, his throwing ability and stuff. I know that's big, and Coach Nunn probably knows this too, but Coach Bailey's sitting over there at third base. Next time he gets a runner on first, may not be so, may kind of hesitate about sending that runner. So anytime you can do that, just a little, little things like that about the game that really, may come and help the Dragons.
This is Nick Winters, who struck out his first time up, swings and misses there. Of course, Helmuth with a good arm as well there showed it off on that last ground ball. And, of course, was the second out of the inning. And there's a shot ripped, but pulled a little bit too much there and foul down the right side. So 0-2, Lester quickly jumps ahead here.
Yeah, Winters kind of short-armed that. He didn't really extend his arms, and Justin looks like he kind of, handcuffed him right there and just kind of kept his arms in tight and took a real short, compact swing.
Lester, of course, with a complete game in the first meeting against White County earlier this year up in Cleveland. And the 0-2 pitch is fouled away there as Winters stays alive.
Dave, like you said, Justin did have a complete game against White, but he did give up 7 runs as well. So, that's something in the back of the mind, I'm sure, of Coach Nunn and Coach Bell and Coach Voles and all the coaches in the dugout. I'm sure they're thinking about that and probably going to watch his pitch count today.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Winters goes down swinging, and Lester has his 3rd strikeout of the day here through 2.5 innings, and the Dragons coming back up here, still 1-0 White County. Minimal cloud cover here this afternoon over Dragon Field. Again, a beautiful day for some high school baseball. Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you on the game of the week as the Dragons come back up here. Getting bottom of the 3rd, and still 1-0 White County. The visiting Warriors coming in here. A game over 500 overall, but a game under 500 in Region 7 AAA. And there's a lot on the line for these guys as well. The Dragons trying to stay in 3rd place altogether. And the Warriors trying to get right back up there as well. This one put away by the center fielder Kastner for out number 1. That was Mark Patterson hitting.
Didn't have a chance to talk about Mark.
Nope.
Swung at the first pitch, but he's one of those JV kids that he's actually hit 2 home runs for Coach Nunn and the Dragons, and he's done a great job stepping in and doing, getting some key hits.
Again, this inning being presented by Gilmer County Bank. And in steps Jeremy Helmuth. Laying down a bunt right there. First pitch. Satterfield off the mound there, throws him out for out number 2. Yeah, pitching duel, that's something we haven't seen a lot of here at Dragon Field. We typically see a lot of offense.
A lot of offense. And right now, like we talked about earlier, the Dragons have been has been in a lot of games where it's 17-15, 14-13, so on and so forth. So
there's a shot in the gap right there, but put away by Kastner, who got a good jump on that ball. And Alex Williams, the leadoff hitter, is retired here for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Justin Satterfield. And that's it for the 3rd as we breeze right on into the 4th inning. Again, we'll be right back. You're watching high school baseball on ETC3. There's a shot that's kind of showing that slight breeze that we've been talking about here today. Again, the red, white, and blue flying proudly over Dragon Field here as we go to the top half of inning number 4. Moving right along here at Dragon Field. Again, Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you, and the White County Warriors with a 1-0 lead right now over the Pickens Dragons. And the Warriors again back up to bat here. Again, Adam Kastner to lead things off, the center fielder. First pitch, swinging, popped up. Tony Popadix, the second baseman, is there and puts it away for out number one. He had to come a long ways for that when he was playing back on the edge of that infield dirt there and had to run in.
That was good communication between Tony and Andy Golden, because as Tony was running in, he kind of cast his eyes over at Andy, and Andy, looked at him and said, "You got it, it's yours, it's yours." So, that was good communication, and a lot of times you see when the ball's hit like that, it's dropped a lot of times.
Jordan Fincher in there now. First pitch swinging. This one's popped up. Shallow center field. Helmuth gives it chase. And over the shoulder grab right there. Wow, by Jeremy Helmuth. Looked like either Helmuth or Williams was going to get to that ball. Looked like it might be Williams' ball there momentarily, but a good play there and a lot of range by Helmuth. It's, going to your left's one thing, going to your right's one thing, or coming up on a ball, but going backwards, that's tough to do.
That is, and catching it over your shoulder, that's a great play by Jeremy. And I know his parents real well, and they'll probably want that on tape. So that's a great play by Jeremy. We've got 2 pitches and 2 outs, so this game is flying by. We've been playing baseball for about 35 minutes.
Well, of course, the Dragons trying to do what the Warriors did to them in that last half inning and set them down here. And Mark Garst, the first baseman, going to make Lester throw at least one pitch there.
He's made him throw 2, so we'll see kind of what he's going to do right here. We've got a 1-1 count.
2 outs in the inning, nobody on, and that one popped up, but that might be out of here, and it is. Green gave it a look. So the count is 1-2, though, and Lester 1 strike away from setting them down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 4th. Again, 3 strikeouts today, 1 in each inning so far. And trying to end the 4th here. And the 1-2 pitch, 1 hops that one in there, so 2-2. Of course, some upgrades planned on the field here as well. Talking to Coach Bell before the game, talking about putting up some netting where the chain link's currently at right now, and just doing some little things around the park.
Yeah, they've got a lot of things in plan and in mind. So just everything, everything's just going to make the baseball field look that much better.
Chopper right back through the box there, so Garst keeps the inning going for White County there, and that's their 3rd hit of the afternoon. So in will step Nick Palmer, the DH. Warriors with a base runner, but 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Of course, J.J. out there in left, really having to battle that sun as well. Haven't seen a lot of balls hit out there. The left side of that infield also having to work with that as well. First pitch swinging a rip, but it's going to be foul down into the White County bullpen area down there.
J.J. just about got involved right now. We're sitting there talking. You don't see a lot of, he hadn't had a lot of action out there in left field, but, Justin, if he's pitching the way he's supposed to, he's going to get a lot of pop-ups, and that's kind of what they want. So if he's and that's what he's getting right now. So anything that he can do to, throw strikes is going to be good for the Dragons.
And as hard as he throws, you really got to be awake too on the right side of the infield, and Patterson out there and right as well. Good stop there by Green, who kept it in front there with a base runner on. The pressure is on. The count is 1-1 here. 2 out, runner on first. That's Mark Garst, the first baseman. He had a 2-out single just a moment ago. And the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss right there. Bluff throw to first, and it's 1-2. Lester faced 1 over the minimum in the first, 1 over the minimum in the second, and faced the minimum in the third. Thanks to a strong throw by Josh Green there. Reinhardt was trying to steal. Green threw him out, though, and then Lester was able to get the next 2. Trying to go 1 over the minimum right here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away there by Palmer.
Right now, Justin's threw him a real good fastball that he basically threw right by him, and now he sit there and threw the curveball. So it'll be interesting to see what he throws him right here, because timing-wise, the batter may be a little bit off, and if he throws that fastball right down the heart of the plate, it'll be interesting to see if he can get a hold of it.
And the 1-2 pitch right here. There's a shot into right field, but playable for Patterson, who puts it away for out number 3. So once again, Lester 1 over the minimum here in the 4th. Still 1-0. White County with the lead. Just a reminder, the ETC3 Game of the Week is on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock and also Thursday night at 8:30 following the ETC3 Prep Rally. Thursday at 8 o'clock. As we head down the stretch run here in the spring season, catch up on all the latest happenings from the diamond, the soccer field, the track, the golf course, the tennis court, you name it. Again, region, crank it up, state as well for pretty much all the sports here, and spring football practice also not far behind.
It is, and I believe, I'm not for sure, but I believe Gilmer County's already had theirs, and we're having ours the last 2 weeks of school just because of the way our school is going to end early this year. So we're going to try to have 9 days and not try to have the 10 because we're not going to expect those kids to be on the last day of school having practice. So have 9 good days and get ready for the football season. We're excited.
Andy Golden leading things off for the Dragons here, followed by Papadix and Johnson, and of course PHS looking for some offense right here. Again, trailing 1-0 in this game, looking for the first hit. They've had 2 base runners, but both have come on walks. Justin Satterfield tossing a pretty good game here so far for White.
He is, and I don't believe that he pitched the last time against the Dragons, and he's doing a good job right now, letting his defense do the work, and they're doing a good job, and you know, getting some quality hit, you know, some outs. So right now is a big time for the Dragons because, you know, they've got the heart of their lineup coming up, and with Papa Dix and, you know, of course Andy just went, and the rest of them. So they've got to do something here because if they don't, the way Satterfield's been pitching, you know, they may not get to bat again till the 6th inning or 7th.
Reinhardt, the shortstop, with that last put out. So in steps Papadix. First pitch swinging, and a strike 0-1. Should get a look at Papadix and Jason Johnson, of course, on deck here, the 3 and 4 hitters in that Dragon lineup. Again, 1 out, nobody on, and the 0-1 pitch is on the outside corner there for a strike, so quickly 0-2. Once again, Stephen Hames behind the controls here today. Hewitt Rabel, the birthday boy, with us. Phil Harrington on camera, along with Hannah Baker, Christy Holloway, Adam Chastain. And that one right off the helmet, I guess.
They hit him right off the helmet. And then hit the awning, and I've never seen that. That might be a first.
Well, I thought for sure something like that had to have come off the bat, and I was like, wait a minute, now that hit the helmet.
I guess that's why we wear helmets and not caps.
Well, there you go. So the Dragons do have a they have a base runner aboard here, nonetheless. And Jason Johnson steps in there now, and it's kind of took me by surprise there because Satterfield's pretty much been on here today and kind of let one get away there.
He did. It looks like he tried to throw something a little inside, and it just kind of got away from him. And Tony didn't duck into it or anything. He just kind of turned, and it hit right there behind his head. So I'm glad he's not hurt, and I'm glad that we wear helmets.
1-0 pitch, popped up. Reinhardt, the shortstop, is there and puts it away for out 2. So Sean McDonald will step in there now for the Dragons, trying to keep the inning going. He walked his first time up there, and the Dragons, again, have had some base runners today. They had a leadoff walks in the first and second innings, but unable to move them around. And, of course, now the hit batter here, Papadix again at first. But, again, 2 outs in the inning. And the pitch to McDonald is high and outside there, 1-0. Josh Green on deck if McDonald can reach here.
Be interested to see if Coach Nunn pulls the trigger and sends Papa Dix. I know we've got 2 outs here, but it'll be interesting to see if he does and try to give him a scoring position.
That one's outside there. Again, the 4th inning of today's game being brought to you by Papa's Pizza to Go in LJ. Pizza worth driving for. I want to thank all the folks from Papa's Pizza to Go in LJ for being with us. Appreciate all the support there. A good supporter of high school athletics. That last pitch high there, so 3-0 the count here, and the Dragons flirting with putting a runner down at second.
Sean walked back in the, I believe, the 2nd inning, and Satterfield has thrown him 7 straight balls, so and I guess that's number 8. So Sean really hadn't had to take the bat off his shoulders because Satterfield hadn't really gave him a lot to hit.
Something about McDonald that Satterfield hadn't liked throwing to here today.
And obviously he probably didn't like throwing to Tony Papadix because he hit him in the head.
So 2 on here, and indeed the longest inning for Satterfield and the White County Warriors. And in steps Josh Green, the catcher. And again, the Dragons with the runner in scoring position. That one's going to get in there for a base hit. They're going to wave him. Play's going to come in and going to be, no, the ball bounces away. Now the throw to third is in time for the out, but the run does score. Again, McDonald cut down at third to end the inning, but the Dragons do tie it up. Close play at the plate right there, but Fincher unable to squeeze it there at the plate. And it's 1-1 at the end of 4. Again, things exciting here at Dragon Field. We'll be right back with the top of the 5th right after this. We get set to go to the top of the 5th. Again, Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you right here on the ETC3 Game of the Week. The Pickens Dragons and White County Warriors going at it in a Region 7 AAA showdown, 1-1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. Glad you could join us. A beautiful day here at Dragon Field, and that last hit by Josh Green was actually the first hit of the afternoon for the Dragons, and it was a big one, scoring Tony Papadix from second base there, and a good throw. The throw was a little bit up the line there, but Fincher, the catcher, unable to squeeze it. Otherwise, Papadix may have been thrown out trying to score there, but a break for the Dragons who do tie it up 1-1. Helmuth was cut down at third to end the inning right there, but the run scores, and that's the important thing, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, and Dave, like we talked during the break, Josh has really come on as of late, and he had a 6-game hitting streak coming in today, and he extended it by that hit. So now he's on a 7-game hitting streak, and I know it'd be a great goal for him is to end the season on that streak. So
Brian Cantrell steps in there now for White County. Again, the 5th inning of today's game being presented by Regions Bank of Jasper. Bank anytime, anywhere with Regions.net. Justin Lester still throwing away out there. Again, as Coach mentioned earlier, it's pretty much been a pitching duel here today. Something we haven't seen a lot of here at Dragon Field this year, but a 1-1 ball game moving right along here, and the drama is beginning to build.
It is, and you've got, the top of the 5th, and there's a lot more baseball to be played, and I don't believe those ones will hold very long.
Saw Coach Bailey over there at third base just a second ago, it looks like.
Justin's got to do a good job right here. He cannot get behind in the count, because it sets up, he's setting himself up for disaster, because they know if he gets behind 3-1, he's probably going to throw that fastball in there, and they'll be sitting there waiting on it, and that's what's kind of hampered him in the past. So he's got to get ahead in the count, and right now he's down 3-1.
Cantrell grounded out to first base back in the 2nd, his only plate appearance today. Again, White County with 3 hits on the afternoon, one of them an extra base hit. Mark Gartz with a 2nd inning double would score the only run. That went chop and foul over the bag there at third. So 3-2 the count here. Big pitch upcoming.
Right now, Cantrell probably wishes he had that pitch back, because that was right in, in his, I guess what you might say, his area. I mean, it was right down the plate, and right now, I guess you might say that, Justin's got the advantage with 3-2.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss right there, and strike 3 as Cantrell goes down. That's the 4th strikeout of the day for Justin Lester, and the first out of the inning here in the top of the 5th. Strong throw right there. Little heat behind that one.
It was, and anytime he can do that, he's going to be good to go.
So Lester facing Hester right here. Again, Brandon Hester, the 3rd baseman for White County, steps in there, 1 out, nobody on. That's only that's the 2nd inning so far in this game that White County hasn't had their leadoff man on. Lester was able to get Adam Kastner to pop out to open up the 4th there. So it seems like Justin, even though he's pitched a solid game anyway, seems to be settling down even more. And went upstairs, though, for ball 2, 2-0.
I know talking to Coach Nunn earlier in the week, and he was talking about this game and how big it was, and you know, if the Dragons are going to make the playoffs, which it looks like they've got a great possibility, it's good for them to get into these real close, these close one-run ball games, and I know he don't want to just go over there and just be one of those one-hit wonders, go and go to that first round and get beat. I know he wants to compete and try to go as far as he can, and if he gets some good pitching out of Justin Lester and Jeremy Carver, then he can do that.
3-0 count right now, though, on Hester. Pitch right there is low, so ball four straight right there, and White County does have a man aboard here with 1 out. It's one of those, I guess, character-building type games. As they talk about those close games, it's a good opportunity as a coach to see how your team's going to react in a situation like that.
He's had a lot of opportunities to do that because, it's one thing coming from behind, but another thing, getting that lead and really trying to hold it and trying to close, I guess what you might say, close the deal, and that's something that they're going to have to work on.
Runner aboard here. Oh, that one bounces away from Green. Now the runner thought about going, gets a late break. He'll go back to first base. That's what you talked about right there, testing the arm of Green, and at that time it looked like that Hester may have not didn't realize how far that ball had gotten away, otherwise he would have went, but by the time he made up his mind, it was too late.
Exactly. He went, then stopped, and went again, and then by that time, Josh had already got the ball up, and if he would have went, he would have been out. So that was a big break for the Dragons.
1-0 the count here, 1 out. Again, a runner at first is Hester, and the pitch, ground ball to third, foul. Hit hard. Pulled it a little bit too much, though. Again, this is Nathan Reinhardt.
I know early in the year, Dave, when Justin pitched, you saw a lot of balls like we talked about when him throwing that fastball, hitters getting behind and hitting that ball out into right field. But right now, White County, I guess, with it being their second time seeing him, they're not getting behind, and they're really putting the ball over there to Sean over there at third base. So, they're really driving the ball and making real good contact.
1-1 pitch right here. Good movement right there. Drops in there for a strike, 1-2. Again, Hester at first, being held on by Golden. Top of the fifth. Throw to first. Close play over there. Good scoop by Andy, too. Lester's also, we talked about the left-handed pitchers in Satterfield, of course, having to move over there. But Lester, he's got a strong throw to first, too, as does Jeremy Carver, another pitcher.
He does, and Lester probably has, he leads. I don't know how many he's thrown out his career, but he's thrown out quite a few base runners over there at first base.
And that one missed, I guess, a little high right there. Boy, that was close. 2-2.
Let's see if Justin tries to throw a fastball right down the heart of the plate and just try to throw it by Reinhardt.
Again, 1 out. And the 2-2 pitch is on the way. And a shot going to be gloved. And they're going to double off the runner at first for a double play there. Popadix in position, caught the liner. And Hester just got caught too far off the bag there. And thought that ball was maybe hit a little bit harder than it was, maybe destined for the gap. But the Dragons, with some defense, get out of it. Still 1-1, a tight ball game here as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Buchanan, Patterson, and Helmuth, the 1-2-3 hitters here this inning, hitting 7, 8, and 9 in the order today. Again, Buchanan leading off the DH, a soft liner to first back in the second for Buchanan. So 0 for 1 today here. And starting to get a little late. Again, Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you. 1-1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard right now in the fifth inning of today's game, being presented by Regions Bank of Jasper. Buchanan, one of those guys that doesn't necessarily have a lot of size, but can certainly put the aluminum on the ball, that's for sure. He's got some pop.
Yeah, like we talked earlier, he's batting .321, and he's done a good job. It's tough being that DH hitter, not getting the flow of the game out in the field, and really good rip right there.
Down the line, into the corner, Buchanan around first. He will easily have second. A stand-up double to lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth for Kevin Buchanan, the DH. And he's into the game right now.
He is. That was a great hit. Took what the pitcher gave him and drove the ball out to left field.
Good start for the Dragons here in the bottom of the fifth. Their leadoff man aboard and in scoring position. And here's Mark Patterson, the right fielder. And this is another guy that we talked about earlier on here that has some deceptive power. He's had a couple of round trippers this year.
And right now the Dragon dugout getting into it just a little bit.
Again, Satterfield continues to throw here for White County. He's pitched a very good game. That one fouled back and out of play. 1-1 the count right here. Again, Patterson followed by Helmuth. And then back to the top of the order. Again, that breeze continues to blow a little bit out towards left center. If you get the ball up in the air today, there's a chance, especially to left field, it could go out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball left side of the infield. Base hit into left field. Buchanan had to hold up to see if that ball was going to make it through there. So he will move on over to third. But they're on the corners with nobody out, and back-to-back hits here. Patterson's aboard.
Good job by Mark. He's continuing his good work out there in right field. And right now his plate, at the bat, he's done a good job. And just being a sophomore, I know Coach Nunn's excited about having him for 2 more years.
So Helmuth with a golden opportunity to put the Dragons in the lead for the first time today here as they threaten in the bottom of the fifth. And the first pitch to Helmuth is inside there, and a good stop by Fincher, who stayed in front. Again, the Dragons with a possible go-ahead run just 90 feet away here. Kevin Buchanan, of course, leading off the inning with a double, and then Patterson with the hit to left. And the pitch is a little low, so 2-0.
Right now it looks like Satterfield's kind of having a hard time finding his location early in the game. He's dialed in, as you might say, but right now he's kind of having a hard time throwing strikes.
Pickoff play to first there. Patterson back safely. And even a long fly ball here scores a run.
It does. It looks like right now White County's third baseman is not real deep, so if it's a ground ball, they're not going to sit there and concede the run.
Runner down to second, and not in time. Stolen base for Patterson. Buchanan stays at third there, so no double steal that time. A lot of times you'll see that with their on the corners, trying to get that run home there, but that was just a straight steal. And that takes away the force at second base. And so 2 in scoring position with nobody out, and a 3-0 count on Helmuth. Square into bunt, showing bunt, takes it for ball 4 straight pitches out of the zone for Satterfield, and that'll load him up for the leadoff hitter, Alex Williams. And the Dragons, it's like blood in a pool of sharks right here, I tell you what.
Yeah, they're jumping on him right now, and with nobody out, and with Alex Williams up to bat, I would say, this is kind of the same situation we were in with Gilbert County the other day, but the lights went out. So can't hope for the lights to go out right now for White County, so maybe the sun will drop down. I don't know.
So Satterfield with his back to the wall right here, trying to pitch out of it. Again, nobody out, bases loaded for the Dragons here in the bottom of the fifth. Scored 1 in the fourth off a base hit from Josh Green, and that was the first hit of the ball game coming at the end of the 4th inning. But 2 hits already this inning. And Williams a chance to put the Dragons out front right here with Andy Golden on deck. And it looks like we're going to have a meeting at the mound right here. White County coaches Out to a talk there with Satterfield. Nobody warming up down in the bullpen for either team here as we begin to get late in this one. Just trying to settle them down right now and just tell them to throw strikes. Don't give me anything too good to hit there, but you certainly don't have any room to put anybody else on here, so you gotta have that control working.
You're right, and right now it don't look like they've got anybody warming up in the bullpen. So, kind of I guess you might say this is Satterfield's game right here, and he's got to bear down and throw strikes.
As we mentioned, of course, a lot on the line for the Dragons trying to widen the distance between themselves and White County and stay in that third spot. But White County also with a lot on the line here because, as we talked about earlier, Johnson, East Hall, several other teams right there. And as you mentioned, you can't count out Gilmer and Fannin, who are also very much alive heading into the last, week and a half, 2 weeks of the regular season. Here's the 2-0 pitch right here to Williams, swinging. Third, coming home with it. They get the run there. And that'll be all, though. The bases will remain loaded, but the Warriors, and that's what they needed right there, they cut that run down at home, and it stays 1-1, and now a double play gets you out of the inning.
Real good defense by White County. The third baseman did a good job and, didn't really try to rush the throw. It was a good, hard, clean throw, what you might say, to home plate. And Kevin did a good job of making a good, hard slide to make sure that the catcher, Fincher, not throw, on the first base to try to get a double play. So, a good job, White County.
So Andy Golden steps in there now. Same situation, but one out. And that pitch is low and in the dirt right there, 1-0. Again, Mark Patterson becomes the runner at third with Helmuth the runner at second. And again, Williams the runner at first. Golden flew out to right field back in the first inning. Hit the ball pretty hard to short, back into fourth. Looking for a hit right here at 2-0. And Golden in the driver's seat right now because he's got to throw him something he likes here down in the count.
Yeah, Andy does a good job. He don't strike out a whole lot. And don't be surprised if you see him right here take some of these pitches. And right now, a walk's as good as a hit, and it's going to drive in a run. So don't be surprised if you don't see Andy try to swing at a lot of these pitches.
Tony Popadix on deck for the Dragons. One out, bases loaded. And the 2-0 pitch, and there's a shot into the gap in left center field. A base hit. Patterson will score. Helmuth around third. He will score. The ball back into the infield. They're going to wave Alex Williams. The play at the plate is off the mark, and 3-run score on a one-out double from Andy Golden, and the Dragons lead it 4-1. Nice piece of hitting right there by Golden, who puts one in the gap. And 3-run score on that one. And the Dragons in control here finally in the fifth inning as they take their first lead of the afternoon.
Andy, a great piece of hitting by Andy. Kind of, drove the ball right into left center field and cleaned the bases. And he's sitting out there all by himself right now at second base.
Well, the inning's still not over with. Still just one out in the inning, and Golden in scoring position. And the Dragons, again, we know how their games have been, back and forth with a lot of offense. So 4-1's not really a lot right now. They're still looking for more. Popadix, again, the hitter, and takes one on the inside corner there, a called strike.
If I'm Coach Nunn, I'm probably kind of contemplating, talking to all the teams that he's about to play and at least put 2 or 3 runs on the board for the other team. And
that one into center field. The throw gets away there, but not deep enough. A good job by Kastner, the center fielder, to back that throw up so Golden will stay put at second.
Like I said, try to put some runs on the board. Just go ahead and give them 2 or 3 runs. That way they have something to shoot for and something to, try to get back at, because, when they get down, they're definitely not out of it. They fight and crawl and scratch and come back, and that's what they've done here.
Ground ball hit hard over at the White County dugout there and foul. So 0-2, and it looks like there is some movement down in the Warrior bullpen. It looks like number 20 Baker, another lefty, warming up down there. Again, the runner at second, Andy Golden, the hero so far with that base-clearing double. Dragons up here 4-1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. 0-2 pitch right here is upstairs, 1-2. Justin Satterfield again has pitched superb up until this point here. It only allowed one hit coming into this inning and just one run, but 3 hits so far this inning, 2 of them doubles. That one just missing there, 2-2 the count.
Tony's been a real valuable asset for the Dragons this year. I know without him, they'd be, Dragons would be real and, be in trouble as far as at the plate and his play in the field. So he's done a good job for them, and they're really going to miss him next year.
Popped up and out of play behind us. Popadick stays alive there. Again, Tony hit by a pitch his last time up, went right off the noggin there and bounced into the crowd. Boy, that's
right off the old dome.
Tell you what, that was a shot. So here we go again, another 2-2 pitch on the way from Satterfield, and there's a shot into left field, popped up, playable for Cantrell, who battles the sun and puts it away for out number 2. So in will step Jason Johnson, the cleanup hitter. Again, Golden's still down at second right now, and JJ going to try to maybe bring in another run here before the 5th inning is up. Again, the Dragons with a 3-run lead here, but they'd like to add some insurance.
Yeah, those 4 runs is real nice on the board, but anything can happen, and Justin's kind of struggled as far as walking people, and that's something that Dragons don't need right now. So right now that Andy's sitting over there on second base, it'd be real nice to have him come home and give him some insurance.
Johnson popped out to short an inning ago. Has an 0-1 count right here against Satterfield, trying to do a little damage control and try to pitch out of the rest of the inning without giving up anything else here. Another strike right there, so JJ falls behind 0-2 in the count.
Go, Jason.
Time called. Satterfield again stares in there. Gets the sign in the 0-2 pitch. And JJ in front of that one there, but stays alive. Also want to mention, too, that Phil Harrington, running our pitcher cam here today, had a big night in the ETC Company softball game. Of course, it was for charity benefiting American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. They had a triple and an inside the park homer. It's flying around there. I tell you what, I didn't realize he had that much speed. Knew he could do it behind the camera, but didn't know he could do it with the bat. Had a really good game. Other than that, though, the Channel 3 contingent didn't do that well. I wasn't very happy. It was a pretty rough night there, but
now who did you guys play now?
The inside bunch versus the outside crew. The inside employees against the guys that work outside, and the outside guys they got the power, man.
They're I don't know a lot of them, but I know a lot of them do play softball.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the inside guys. But,
well, we don't as much, I can tell you that. And it showed in the final score there. But it was all for fun, and it was for charity, and that's what counts, I guess. But
exactly. I guess you can think, when it gets mid-August and it's 100 degrees, you're working inside and they're working outside. So
that's right. I don't mind giving up a few runs on the scoreboard there.
Of course, after this, after us talking about this, they may come hunt you down.
They may
on Monday.
They'll throw us out there in it. Yeah. Well, I'll be out there covering football and everything with you guys. So, and the season's starting 2 weeks early. We're going to have football games in August this year. So
that's right. That's right.
We'll be out there too. Swing and a miss right there for strike 3. JJ goes down, and that will end the 5th inning. But a very productive inning for the Dragons, who do get a 1-out double from Andy Golden, plating 3 runs, and that puts the Dragons out front 4-1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. The top of the 6th coming up after this. Get a look at some of the folks that have made the trip to Dragon Field here today to cheer on the Dragons. In PHS with a 4-1 lead over White County on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard as we go to the top half of inning number 6. Getting late here, but still plenty of sunshine left. And typically by about this time we're flipping on the lights this point in the game here, but it's been a pretty quick one, a pitcher's duel. First pitch swinging, that one just foul to the left of that third base bag over there. Again, this is Brent Oliver, the leadoff hitter, leading things off here in the 6th. Of course, the Dragons sent 7 to the plate in the bottom half of the 5th, and of course Andy Golden with the big hit of the game so far, a one-out double that scored 3 runs. The bases were loaded, and Golden cleared the bases with that gapper into a left center there, and that's where we're at right now.
It's very, very important, Dave. I know for Justin's confidence, but get these 3 batters out and get back in that dugout and get ready to go back out again and maybe have another complete game, because you don't want to sit there and get behind hitters and get a couple, base hitters on base. And right now, that'd be very, very important for him.
0-2 count right here. Lester trying to make quick work of Oliver. There's a liner, but right to Helmuth. It's short. Didn't even have to move for that one. So 1 down here quickly. And the top of the 6th, and that'll bring up Nick Winters. 2 warming up now in the White County bullpen. There's only 1 mound down there, though, so it looks like Mark Garntz, the first baseman, perhaps warming up down there as a pitcher, but he's having to throw off a flat ground down there. We'll have to get on to Coach Nunn and them. They got the field looking good, but they need an extra mound down there.
I know, that's just uncalled for. That's uncalled for, but may need to widen the mound out just a little bit.
The 1-0 pitch right here. Popped up. Shallow center field. Alex Williams giving it chase along with Helmuth, who makes another grab, and that one falls out of there, though. Helmuth unable to squeeze that one there. It pops right out of the glove. And that's a tough play right there. Probably have to rule that a hit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that would be an error. That's a tough play by Jeremy. He made a great play back in the 3rd, almost the 4th, and just, it's hard to pull off 2 of those in a row. So, but he's got nothing definitely to be ashamed of.
And of course, you're still battling that sun there as well, and you get turned around, and with a little bit of a breeze, that ball does some crazy things too. So White County with a runner aboard here on first, with 1 out. Adam Kastner, the center fielder, steps in there 1 for 2 today. Had a hit back in the 1st. Garnst is actually due up here in a couple spots, but he's warming up down there, so I wonder if 1 more gets on, if he'll come on back into the dugout and throw on a helmet. Looks like he's kind of watching the game a little bit to see what's going on there, so.
Maybe watching also to see if the ball's coming his way, because right now he's real close to that left field line.
A lot of balls have been hit over there foul today, so. And the 2-0 pitch upcoming from Lester. And that one's popped up a mile high, and there's one in foul territory to the left side. Helmuth gives it a look, and it'll stay in play, and Helmuth went about a mile for that ball and put it away for an out number 2, and that's a big out.
Real big out, Dave. That's huge. I mean, you don't want, and you never want to give a batter any other opportunities to get a hit. So, we got 2 outs right now, and Justin's looking like he's going to be in good shape.
So in will step Jordan Fincher, the catcher. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Grounded out to 3rd. Popped up to short. Back in the 4th. Again, a runner still at 1st, but 2 down here in the top of the 6th. And the pitch in there for a hard strike, 0-1. And Garnst has indeed made it to the on-deck circle there. Has come out of the bullpen, and looks like if Fincher can reach, he will hit in his normal spot there, 5th in the lineup. And this is the cleanup hitter right here, though. Fincher with a big bat. Lester with a little bit of a lead right now, though. Doesn't want to let up too much, but can relax there a little bit and just throw some pitches. He's had some pretty good defense behind him today. Pitch, little nubber, off the end of the bat. Lester will handle it himself, makes the tag, throws on to 1st anyway, though, and heads up play right there. And that is it, out number 3 in the top of the 6th, though a hit but one left on for White County. Still 4-1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Josh Baker, the new lefty hurler for the White County Warriors, will take over for Justin Satterfield. So close the book on Justin there. Again, he went 5 innings in this one, allowing 4 runs, pitched a very good ball game, but just hasn't had the offensive support thanks to Justin Lester, who's been equally impressive. Again, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning right here. Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you on the ETC3 Game of the Week, and the Dragons with an at-bat right now. Maybe trying to add a few more insurance runs here, perhaps heading into the top of the 7th. Sean McDonald will lead things off. So again, Baker steps in there now. Beautiful day here, and as Baker gets set to deliver, first pitch fouled out of play there, starts him out with a strike. We were mentioning something about possibly not having to worry about any power outages here. We probably won't even see the lights kick on here tonight as fast as we've played through this one.
You're right. It looks like Lester may may beat White County before we have a chance to do it. So
leave no doubts this time, I guess.
No.
Quickly 0-2 though. And that one just missing outside there. Fincher setting up outside the plate there a little bit. So 1-2 the count again. Sean McDonald has walked twice today. He's been a hard man to pitch to for some reason. And here's the 1-2 pitch. And they say he did go around indeed for strike 3 there. Had the call down to first. And so that is the first out of the inning. McDonald is retired, and Josh Green will step in there. 3rd strikeout of the day for Warrior pitching. Josh Green steps in there. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Hit into a double play back in the 2nd there, but in all fairness, those catchers aren't always known for speed. So,
no, they're not. And Josh is lovably known as Rube. Rube, after the character on Major League, the catcher that had a hard time throwing the ball back to the pitcher, and he doesn't have a hard time doing that. But he's a big kid, and his nickname, I guess all the kids call him Rube.
Fouled back to the screen there. Green certainly showing off that arm earlier in the game, was able to throw out a runner trying to steal there. That was the only attempt, it looks like, for stolen base today by White County from Nathan Reinhardt, but he was caught stealing there, leading off the 3rd inning. 2-1 count. 1 out, nobody on for the Dragons here in the bottom of the 6th. They lead at 4-1. Another one fouled back to the fence, 2-2. Green with a hit, though, back in the 4th, which scored the first run of the ball game and tied it up. Tony Popadick scored on the hit. And it's 3-2. Again, Baker set and delivers, and there's a shot into center field, fairly deep but playable out there for Kastner, who puts it away for out number 2. So Baker trying to set him down 1, 2, 3, and that's basically what he's been brought in to do here, is basically just control, keep the Dragons off the scoreboard here, prevent any insurance runs, and hope the offense can pick them up here in the 7th inning.
He's doing a good job of it right now, too. He's throwing some good pitches, and he's trying to hit that outside corner, and he's been effective a couple of times doing it.
Kevin Buchanan steps in there now, got it all going in the 5th inning with a leadoff double. He was forced out at home plate there on a fielder's choice, but indeed got the rally going there. This one fouled up, and it will go out of play down the right side there. Buchanan officially 1 for 2 today. It's been one of those Greg Maddox type of games here where you're out of here in an hour and a half.
Exactly, and I guess you might say the Greg Maddox of 4 or 5 years ago, he's kind of struggling right now. So,
yeah.
But, he's Kevin has done a good job for the Dragons this year. He's one of those many seniors that's on the team that I know Coach Nunn and everybody's really gonna miss. So, but you talk about White County being a young team. I guess the Dragons are too in some ways, but they've still got a bunch of seniors that they count on that they're gonna. I know Coach Nunn's gonna want that JV to step up and help him next year.
Of course, we actually saw the JV a week or two ago against Gilmer, had a 4-0 win. Called it the Little Cats and the Baby Dragons going at it in that one there. And, of course, that was prior to the start of the varsity game there. Ground ball to third, and, oh, that one right off the leather there of Hester at third base. And I guess that would have to be an error, but that's a tough hop right there.
Very, very tough hop. But, right now I know Coach Dunn's probably kind of wanting to get Justin back out there and let him finish the game off. And it's also interesting, Dave, if you notice, and I can see him from here, but Justin has continually thrown, even when the Dragons are out, batting. He's over there throwing continuously, and he's not sitting over there in the dugout getting cold. So, he's still warm and he's throwing all the time. So, look for him to come out and be real strong in this next inning.
1-0 count right here on Mark Patterson, the right fielder. Swing and a miss right there. 1-1 again. A runner still at first. A runner at first. Buchanan, of course, reaching on that error just a moment ago. 2 outs, though. That one missing low and outside there. 2-1. Looking ahead to the top of the 7th for White County, they'll send their, looks like their 5, 6, and 7 hitters to the plate there. Garnst to lead things off. Nick Palmer, the DH, and Brian Cantrell. Fouled into the dirt there, so 2-2. Had a very clean ball game today, and really some good pitching and some good defense. High and outside right there, so 3-2, full count here. In fact, that last error by Hester was the first error of the game by either team, so it's been a real clean game.
It has. It's been a real clean game, and it's been a good defensive game by both teams.
Swing and a miss, but the ball's in the dirt, and Fincher can't find it, throws on to first, and they get Patterson by a step. So a close play there, but indeed Patterson goes down, and that's it for the bottom of the 6th. A base runner for the Dragons has left the board, but we go to the top of the 7th. One final chance for White County. Lester staying in the game, trying to close it when we return. Four to 1 on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. Dave Garner, Sam Wigington with you as we go to the top half of the 7th inning, and the final chance right here for the visiting White County Warriors. Again, 10-9 overall, 6-7 on the season. Trying to come in here today and even up their region record. All these games are important, as we mentioned. Meanwhile, the Dragons, again, in the driver's seat, sitting in that 3rd spot right now in Region 7 AAA, that 3rd playoff spot, and trying to maintain a hold on that position. And what a season it has been for the Dragons, and Lester a chance here to close it out.
We talked earlier how big this game was, but if the Dragons are able to hang on and win this ball game, they've put themselves in great position to have that 3rd spot and win out the rest of the games. And even looking at North Hall, the number 2 team in the region, they could even afford to lose that game. And I know they don't want to do that, but they could afford to do that and still be in that 3rd spot. But the key for them is to go back and beat Gilmer and Fannin. And if they don't do that, then they could be in trouble.
And, of course, we will have the rematch for you in LJ later on in the season, May 5th, the actual game date between those two. And, of course, that ought to be a good one there. And we will actually see this White County team next week in LJ taking on the Gilmer Bobcats as the game of the week moves to LJ. Of course, White County making a couple of appearances this year, and we'll see what the Warriors can bring next week. Garnst, again, the hitter stays in there. That one popped up but out of play there, so the count is 2-2. Justin Lester trying to pitch another complete game. Of course, he tossed one against White County back on March 29th, had 15 strikeouts in that game, and of course going to be probably a little shy of that here today. He's only got 4 this afternoon, but it's still been equally effective.
Justin's kind of, has let his defense do the work, and they've done a good job. Sean McDonald and Jeremy Helmuth. So, anytime you can do that, I'm sure he'd like to have more strikeouts, but if you can, sit there and do what he's done, then I'm sure he's effective and he's happy about it.
Well, there's one down right there. Helmuth with a nice play and a good scoop by Golden over there at first. Dug it out for the first out. And so now Nick Palmer, the DH, will step in there. And the Warriors down to their final 2 outs. Student body here in the house here today, looking down there at Mr. Sam Probst. Big fat.
Yeah, he's that's Big Sam. He's glad to have him back for next year.
I'd mentioned something. I think I called him that at a track meet or something one time, that he was, of course, his sister Whitney, a good ball player there, and also running track this year, and said something to him about Big Fat. And he seems to take it pretty well. He didn't look at me mean, so obviously it's something he's used to being called.
He loves it. You look at Sam Probst. Sam Probst is not fat. He just he loves to, he likes to have fun with it and stuff. You talk about Whitney, though. They had the region track meet today. I don't know any results, but the girls' region was today over at Johnson High School. I know Whitney has had a real good year. She's won about every event that she's been in every time. So,
yeah.
I know Coach G has been expecting big things out of her.
Yeah, good year indeed for Pickens track and field. The numbers are up, as you mentioned. Whitney Probst anchoring the 4x100, running the 100 and the 100 hurdles. Good season for golf, too. The Dragon boys getting set for region at Bent Tree.
To defend their region crown.
That's right.
Region champions last year.
Yep. 1 out, and the 2-1 pitch. There's a shot into center field. Alex Williams back, but he's under it. And puts it away for out number 2. So the White County Warriors down to their final out here in the top of the 7th. And we're a little over an hour and a half.
Two-way in the inning now for Brian Cantrell.
The Shadows haven't even had time to creep into the infield here yet, just to give you an idea of how quick this game has gone.
It has. It's went real quick, and that's a good sign of pitching and defense. So, you get in those games where it's 14-13. Those games are long, but they're fun to watch. But this game is kind of a, it's also fun to watch the defense do, what they're supposed to do, and that's get people out.
Of course, coming up immediately following the conclusion of the game, we will have the Jasper TV and Appliances post-game report for you. Coach Wigington and I will wrap things up here from Dragon Field. Take a look back at today's action here. Of course, Justin Lester has pretty much been the main story. They were allowed an early run back in the second. Garntz with a lead-off double for White County, but since then, Lester's pretty much been solid, shutting the door here and trying to close it right here. 2-1, the count with 2 out, nobody on. Brian Cantrell, the hitter, the left fielder, is 0 for 2 today. And the 2-1 pitch. It's 3-1.
Justin's kind of seemed like he kind of overthrew that pitch. He kind of reached back and looked like he was going to try to throw it right by him, and kind of held on the ball just a little bit too long and threw it in the dirt.
And the 3-1 pitch on the way from Lester. Ground ball to third off the glove of McDonald. Helmuth there to back it up. Looks like it will be, I guess, an infield hit there perhaps, or I don't know how you score that one. Not an official score, so.
Maybe E5 on that. I'm not sure, but that looked like a ground ball that Sean could have got to, and he kind of stabbed at it instead of sitting there and getting in front of it and making a good clean field. But he kind of stabbed at it, and the ball got away from him. But it was a good job by Jeremy backing him up, and kind of also made a good decision on not to throw that ball to first, because it could have been a wild throw and the runner could have been at second. So that was a good decision making by Jeremy's part, just putting it in his pocket.
Looks like we do have a pinch hitter here, Fain, number 1, in there for White County. The Warriors' last hope here, and up there swinging. swung at one maybe a little bit out of the zone there. 0-1. Again, a runner at first for White County. Again, the Warriors out of Cleveland, Georgia. As I mentioned, we'll have these guys on for you next week in Ellijay. And a swing and a miss right there, and it's 0-2.
Don't be surprised here, Dave, if you see Justin try to throw that fastball right by him. You know, he's not really done a good job and hadn't really come close to hitting it, so don't be surprised to see him try to throw it by him.
Runner with the lead off of first, and Lester bringing the heat there. The old number 1 just misses outside, so it's 1-2. Again, we want to say hi to all of our sponsors. In the 7th inning of today's game, being presented by ETC Security. Here's the 1-2 is outside, so it's 2-2. Lester had a pitch to work with there. Fain again trying to keep it going right here. Trying to maybe start a little 2-out rally. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that one's upstairs, 3-2.
Having a hard time throwing strikes right now. Got ahead of him 0-2 in the count, and now Fain he's worked his way back to a full count, 3-2.
So a big pitch upcoming right here by Justin Lester. Again, a runner at first not being held on, 2 outs. And the payoff pitch, and it's upstairs for ball 4. So after getting ahead 0-2, Lester loses the hitter right here, and that puts runners at first and second, and the tying run now will come to the plate here with 2 out in the 7th inning. Looks like we are going to have a pinch runner here, it looks like. Looks like it's going to be number 27. Looks like maybe Vinberger, perhaps.
Yeah, Vinberger.
And Coach Jason Nunn will come out of the dugout and talk things over with his pitcher. Situation where you're still in the driver's seat, but you certainly don't want to make a mistake right here.
You're exactly right. It's a crucial time. You know, one swing of the bat and we could be tied right here, and that's something I know that Justice don't want, and that's something I know the Dragons don't want as well.
Weather hasn't changed much since the beginning of the game. Still sunny out here and warm, but still a nice little breeze blowing through there. And want to thank all the folks for tuning in here today. And again, high school baseball on the air and getting towards the end of the season. Our spring schedule's about to wrap up. Of course, opening day for youth. Baseball, softball, and t-ball is come and gone, and we're getting set for the summer season here. And, of course, the youth will take over here pretty soon. So here's the first pitch coming up to Nathan Reinhardt, who pops it up on the first pitch down that right field line. Andy Golden is there and gave it a good try there, but I don't believe he came up with it.
Good try by Andy. Really dug in hard and run out there, but that's a tough play going out there to right field. But, you know, just being the first pitch, we've still got a long way to go.
Shadows now are indeed creeping into the infield there a little bit. That ball leaving the hand probably in the sun, but by the time the hitter sees it, fades into that shade there a little bit. 0-1 the count, though, here. 2 outs, but runners at first and second trying to make it interesting here. Lester bearing down in the 0-1 pitch, and there's a shot into center field. A line drive. Alex Williams will let it bounce. Runner coming home. The throw to the plate, not in time. Little off the mark there. And White County scores a run here with 2 out. A 2-out base hit off the bat of Nathan Reinhardt. And that puts the tying runs in scoring position, second and third, and still 2 down for the leadoff hitter, Brent Oliver.
Davis, it's not over right now. It's the ball. You know, the ball game's still on, and White County, I don't think is giving up right now. So Justin's got to bear down and try to get this last batter out. He's throwing fastballs, and they're really, you know, they're timing them real well and putting them in place. So they've got to do a good job and bear down and get this last out and get out of the ball game and get the win.
Oliver again, the second baseman. Runners at second and third, and the first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 right on the corner. Lester's been able to get ahead of some hitters here today. got the first 2 outs of the inning fairly easy, but then, of course, an error there at third and then a walk and a hit has certainly gotten folks on the edge of their seat here. Runner coming home, the ball gets away, and that's going to be another run. And so now all of a sudden with 2 out, the tying run is just 90 feet away here in the top of the 7th.
Major change of events has happened right now. I mean, White County seems like they've got the momentum, and you know, runners just on third base, and that could be the tie. So once again, he's got to bear down and throw strikes, and wild pitch could score a run just like it did the last time.
Well, I think they heard us say that we only had about an hour and 45 minutes on tape, and said, "Wow, now wait a minute now."
That's not, you know,
we're used to filling up a 2.5-hour time slot here.
We're cheating the ETC viewers right now.
Well, 1-1 count right here with 2 out. That one in the dirt. Now, really, the pressure does fall on Josh Green, who's had a good day today, especially blocking that ball there. It's real important that he keeps it in front with any body part right now.
And two, don't be surprised if you see Coach Nunn or Coach Black come out and talk to Justin and try to get this runner out.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fouled out of play, 2-2. So once again, 2 strikes on a hitter for Justin Lester. A strike away with that tying run, just 90 feet away. So a little drama playing out here late in this one. In the 7th inning, 4-3 Dragons with a 1-run lead on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard. 2 out, 2-2 count, and the tying run at third. And the pitch to Oliver is upstairs. Ball 3-2. A base open at first. So it doesn't necessarily hurt you here if you do put Oliver aboard. But right here, getting into the heart of the order, and Nick Winters is on deck, and he got a hit his last time up. So here we go. 2 out, 3-2 pitch. And a shot into center field, playable for Alex Williams, who puts it away for out number 3, and that is going to do it. So a little drama right at the end of this one, but the Dragons do come away with a 1-run win, 4-3, the final on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard, as Lester indeed records that final out. And boy, we finally breathe a sigh of relief right here on the ETC3 game of the week. White County, of course, with a solid game here, just 1 error apiece. And we'll go ahead and take a timeout and be right back to wrap things up from Dragon Field on the Jasper TV and Appliances post-game report coming up. Time now for the Jasper TV and Appliances post-game report right here on the ETC3 game of the week. Dave Garner, Coach Sam Wigington with you as we wrap things up here today from Dragon Field. And Coach, as we mentioned, joking around about the power outages the last time we were doing a baseball game, but didn't allow for that today. Moved so quickly into this one, didn't have time to flip on the lights.
It was a very, very quick game is what you might say, and Justin Lester had a great pitching performance and come out and turned the power off of what you might say of White County. So, that's good for the Dragons. He's got to pitch well for them to be successful and them to win ball games, and that's what he did today.
With the win, of course, the Dragons have a stronghold right now on that third playoff spot. Again, 4 go, so in good shape right now, heading into the stretch run of the regular season. Taking a look at the final numbers, again, White County 3 runs on 5 hits and an error. Pickens with 4 runs on just 4 hits and an error, so not a lot of offense, not the offense certainly that we've been accustomed to here in this ballpark, but those 4 hits enough. 3 of those hits in 1 inning. Justin Satterfield for White County tossed a pretty good game, just didn't get the run support. They did try to make it interesting there, but Justin Lester was able to record that final out there and seal it. It was 4-1 going into the top of the 7th and ended up 4-3, but a win's a win. Win's
a win, and like we talked earlier, it's good for the Dragons to have those games that kind of build character, and I believe this was one of those games that, they started out behind and they come back and fought back in a real close game, and then they turn around in the top of the 7th, and have a team come back on them, something that they haven't had too much of. So they showed a lot of character and a lot of I guess what you say, intestinal fortitude to withstand the late White County charge and to come out with a victory.
Well, of course, next week we will indeed have this White County team back on the ETC3 Game of the Week in Ellijay as they take on the Gilmer Bobcats, and hope you'll join us for that one. And, Coach, I've enjoyed it this year. This is our final game at Dragon Field, and I want to compliment you on the job you've done and certainly appreciate you taking time out of your coaching schedule to be here with us. I know you enjoy watching these young men, and I've enjoyed working with you this year.
I do. I love it, Dave. And, this is our second year together, and, I really do enjoy it. And, again, I know you guys hear it a lot, but what ETC does for the youth of Pickens County is, and along with Gilmer County, y'all do a great job, a great service, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. And there again, I want to thank everybody that you guys let me come out and do this. So I want to thank everybody.
Of course, we will see the Dragons one more time in the season finale right here in the spring ETC3 TV finale in Ellijay, the rematch, the most anticipated rematch between the Dragons and Bobcats, again, the first week of May there, and hope you will join us for that again next week, White County at Gilmer. Coach, I've enjoyed it. For our entire ETC3 television crew, that's going to do it. The final score once again on the Denson Heating and Air scoreboard, the Pickens Dragons 4 and the White County Warriors 3. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.